This week we're taking it back to 1979, sort of, at the studio. Welcome to 1979. So today is a lot of fun. I'm going to go hang out with my friend Chris Mara at his studio in the Nations in Nashville called Welcome to 1979. Chris Mara has this really unique studio. It's kind of in this giant warehouse that houses a handful of businesses that they run along with the studio. So primarily they have the studio Welcome to 1979, which is a very unique and cool layout. Obviously, we'll walk through and check it out. But not only do they have a studio to record in that's both an analog studio that you can record a tape, they provide the tape, or you can bring your own tape, and you can record to their HD Pro Tools rig, up to you when you book. But they also have mastering in-house, and they master to vinyl. They have a vinyl cutting machine, which you'll see in the walkthrough, and they actually have a tape machine repair and sales company called Mara Machines, where they restore, repair, and sell tape machines, 4, 8, 16, 24 track machines. So very, very cool, very solid business he has going on. A lot of people working in there, and it's very cool setup. So I'll put all of Chris's links down in the description. Give them a follow, go check it out, go book some time, get something mastered, buy a tape machine, whatever. It was very cool to get an inside look at the whole facility, not just the studio and the gear, but also the mastering room, and like I said, everything else that he has going on there. Thank you, Chris, for having me out. It was a lot of fun. Make sure to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you guys aren't already subscribed. And of course, at ANDREWMASTERSmusic.com, you can book Zoom consultations as well as the other services listed here. Thank you guys for watching, and let's go check out Welcome to 1979. All right, Chris, thank you so much for having me.
Well, you're welcome, and welcome to 1979. We've been here 13 years, and I'll just show you around. So when you book the studio, we give you the code to the front door. Okay. So you just walk right into your own session. There's no reception area. That's by design. You can just step in and step out really quickly. So we'll go to our main tracking floor here. This is a classic shoebox shape. If you look at older studios from New York and Muscle Shoals and such in LA, this design, whether the ratio may change, but this shoebox shape is really popular back in the day, and it sounds great. There's a reason. It's really loud, it's directional. I'd say 80% of the time we do drums here. We also have a dead room here for drums. It's like a real tight 70s sound. And then there's a hallway upstairs that's about 8 feet wide and 100 feet long. We can do drums in there too for like a 60s sound.
Oh, wow.
And we've got about 100 places to plug microphones in throughout the building. So every room we walk into, there's places to record.
I like the old paneling.
Yeah, this paneling is original to the building. It was put in 1953.
Oh, wow.
And it sounds really good. This is a concrete floor. There's a concrete block behind that paneling, so it's a really loud and tight room. And the concept is everyone can physically be in here. The singer goes across the hall in that big room there. He or she can see all the way into this dead room. Should we have drums in there, or upright bass, or horns. We can track a 9 or 10 piece band easily here all live, like drums, alt percussion, horns, background singers, whatever. But typically it's a 5 or 6 piece band. So drums here, let's say, or in there. And then we put bass player here. We've got a great vintage Ampeg flip top that lives in the dead room. We can plug in, have that too. And then a lot of times an upright bass setup so they can toggle between electric and upright. A lot of Americana acts do that. We can put the guitar players here. Their amps go in big rooms that are down the hall. I'll show you, and we can tap into those rooms via these SGIs here, studio guitar interfaces. So if it's a combo amp, they can come off their pedal board, plug into there. It converts it to a balanced signal. You don't lose any fidelity. Or if it's a head and cab, we've got long speaker cables too. So everyone can physically be in here. Keyboard player here. This is common for us to have a B3 and like a Whirly here. And the Leslie cabinet sits around the corner. And they all have headphones. So they have a 16-channel headphone box. They can change everything. We even have reverb set here and delay sometimes. And then they can step on these switches to activate these microphones and talk to each other and us at the same time.
Oh, nice. These are the P16s?
Yeah, we've got about 12 of those just everywhere. And what's fun is if they move to another room to do a different acoustic guitar or something, they can just pull their box and go, and the mix that they have retains.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. And we use this all the time. These have line outs.
Right.
So like down the hall, I've got a couple of them sitting there, and we can just reamp the drums while we're recording. Just solo the drums and crank it up into an amp.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
It's really fun. Or I'll run the B3 through a guitar amp or whatever. So I'll show you the other space too. The entryway we walk through, we use a lot for recording. We do a lot of horns here, mainly because we can set the horn players there with the back to the wall, put like an RCA 44 here, and then that'll capture this live. You can hear me talk now, it's live room.
Oh yeah.
And this tight space, so you get a nice splash from the horns there. And they're right here, and they can see everybody, singer, band, the whole deal.
Oh, that's cool.
And we have the paneling throughout. So down this hall is our vocal booth. It's nice and big. It's mainly for scratch, but we can do keeper vocals in there all the time.
Now, what's the umbrella for?
For looks. It's kind of fun.
For vibe.
It was a gift from a friend. And I should note, this is not a swastika. That is a peace sign. Hitler took it and turned it 90 degrees and destroyed the peace sign. So I point that out every once in a while.
This is nice. It almost feels like a green room.
Yeah, and you can change the lighting really quickly. Flip of a switch, the lights change. It's big enough to wheel a piano in here or a B3. Have 2 people in here really simply.
All right, and then you guys have these snakes?
Yeah, again.
Kind of everywhere, huh?
Yeah, this is places to plug microphones in or route things differently.
And then is this a pedal board from a organ?
Yeah, from a B3. Yeah, I just hung it up there so these wouldn't get damaged. You see there's one broken here. And I just hung it up and I'm like, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And it tightens the room up a little bit. And I should mention the control room is upstairs, which we'll see in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
And there's cameras, so it all works really well. My favorite thing is that the band is just recording and looking at each other. They're not being stared at by a big control room
guy
window.
In the glass.
Yeah. And I can be going, do I want tacos for lunch? And they don't think that I'm like, do they not like what they hear? So here are 2 of the 3 rooms for guitar amps. You can see those SGIs sitting in there. And this is a room we use for guitar amps and one of our 2 upright pianos. And this has mic lines and a camera and headphones in it at all times.
What a cool little room.
Thanks, yeah, and this gets booked a lot for photo shoots. The whole place does, but this is a real good place for photos. A lot of artists will bring somebody for photos during their session and just take some time. Wow, there's usually somebody not engaged in the session.
Sure.
And then that way they can leave with not only music, but a lot of content for social media, maybe some album artwork.
Yeah.
So they get a lot for their money when they're here. I mentioned this is one of our 2 pianos. Everything we purchase kind of fits into a certain slot. This upright sounds awesome. It's bright and really sticks out of a track. The one upstairs you'll see is more mellow, and it's great for down-tempo songs. So larger projects, they'll tune both pianos and we'll have them both mic'd up and they can just switch. So it's really great for a piano player to sit down, play the song with the artist, go, oh, maybe not this one, run upstairs, ooh, this is the one, and then it's captured. This is a Story and Clark. This is like a 1915.
Holy cow.
And this spent years in the Station Inn.
Wow.
So it's got a lot of history to it. And the one upstairs is the 1890s. So these get used a lot. They sound really cool.
Look at this wall over here.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
There was some water damage back in the 90s, I guess. And I just left it. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
And this is our kitchen and lounge. And behind there is our mastering room. I'll show you that later. We do vinyl and digital mastering all the time.
So it's not just tracking, mixing. You guys have other services as well.
Yep. So yeah, we have got 3 mastering engineers on staff. So that room is busy.
Wow.
Yeah. All the creature comforts, cool fridge, pizza maker, toaster oven, all that kind of stuff. So a couple bathrooms down here, one upstairs. We keep our keyboards out here where they can be pulled into the session. And like I said, we normally put the Leslie cabinet here. We've got a couple gobos that make like a heart shape around it. And then we put the amps for the Whirly out here. Because it's either one or the other. Yeah. So it's great because like tracking live, the keyboard player can go from Whirly in a verse to B3 in the chorus, and really everyone feels that change. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Instead of, imagine there's a Whirly here.
Sure.
So then the guitar player is playing around that, and a lot of stuff gets done here in a efficient manner. So, and this is our artist lounge and more keyboard storage. And so people can put their guitar cases in here too, so the space we have doesn't get cluttered. And hang out, eat lunch, work on some songs. And you'll notice the slide. That is a way to get from upstairs to downstairs.
Not the other way around?
Correct. You can climb up there, but it's hard. But it's just a fun way to get downstairs to do another take.
Was that an addition that you guys added?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We put that in a few years ago.
Now, is this art? Where did all this, because you guys have just an amazing collection of decor and just like random artifacts and art. Was that all you guys?
Yeah, I'm always looking for stuff. I don't pass up a yard sale. This particular wall, we were known for our parties, and we threw a party where we listened to Dark Side of the Moon in quad.
Oh, nice.
And had 4 visual artists paint a painting while it played.
Whoa.
And we kept them, and I kind of just bought this and framed it and kind of made a little ode to that party. It was a really cool party. But yeah, you have to have stuff on the wall that's interesting, I think. And then we'll head upstairs. I'll show you the control room.
Cool.
And other recording spaces.
So this building is essentially like an industrial warehouse.
Yeah, it was
kind of thing.
It was built in 1953 as a record pressing plant. So the studio is about 7,000 square feet, and I have a tape machine restoration company and vinyl electroplating company here too for another 5,000 or 6,000 square feet. So this is the hallway I mentioned before that we can record in or play shuffleboard. But we can do drums up here. It's more of a 60s sound, like a real floppy kick drum.
Yeah.
Horns sound great, guitar amps sound great. You can even sing at that far end and see into the control room. So
wow.
We have a bar when we have parties. There's a game room with pinball and foosball and darts. There's another restroom up here. There's a little hangar room around the corner. It's great for photos.
Yeah, it's crazy. It feels like almost a little bit like a film set. Like there's all these different sets or places to go and explore. Definitely for, like you said, content.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, you do content for days in here.
Yeah, and I think it's a great use of time and money when a band can come in here and leave with a potential album cover or some really good updates for their fans, or you know what I mean? And as far as the general aesthetics, you know, working with bands before I had this place, you go into a studio and you're like, okay, let's pretend we're not in a studio. Everyone relax. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I decided to build a place that doesn't look like a studio, so you don't have to go push through that barrier. You know? Yeah. But everything works. Everything is technical, kind of behind the scenes. Not trying to impress anybody. Just come in. I know we hit the nail on the head when bands come in and by noon they're walking around with their shoes off. Yeah. You don't see that in other studios. They're comfortable. Yeah. We have a booth where we can do guitar amps up here, so you can be in the control room physically. Oh, cool. And have an amp up here. That's great. Or 2. This is a room we use for acoustic guitars, vocal overdubs, that kind of thing. And this is our other piano I was mentioning, the 1890s, like a real mellow sounding one. Wow. Typically our sessions kind of migrate upstairs. Once tracking is done, we just set up stations up here. So we'll set up a vocal station up here, acoustic station in there, a couple guitar stations in the control room with amps, and we can just do overdubs upstairs. That's awesome. And we can even patch into the amps that were downstairs, so you don't have to move their amps or anything. There's wires on the wall everywhere. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's crazy how much snaking and like what are those boxes called again, the radio boxes? SGI, Studio Guitar Interface. SGIs. Yep. Okay. This is the machine room. So we've got a plate reverb, we've got a spring reverb, power supplies in here, mic closet, and then this is kind of the hub where all the wires run around into the building. And then this is our control room. And again, one of the things I wanted in the studio was something different. This is a rather large control room. Oh yeah. I think it's 1,200 square feet. Holy cow. Doesn't look that big until you like move that rack and a couple couches, and it's huge. We pre-COVID would regularly do listening parties in here for like the Grammy Association and for our own parties. Yeah. And you can get 70 people in here on chairs. But on a day-to-day thing, a 5-piece rock band can spread out. The room sounds amazing wherever you are, because this drop ceiling, the actual ceiling's another 9 feet above it. And you can see everybody on the screens, or you can, when people are not recording down there, you can shut the screens off and it disappears. So when everyone's down in the tracking room downstairs, you can see everybody, and they're positioned to see each other, so they're looking at the cameras by design, so they don't know they're looking at a camera. Sure. It's great. Got a great restored MCI console. The same version that was in Muscle Shoals early on, that like Rolling Stone did Sticky Fingers on, and Hotel California out in Colorado was recorded on that version, or wherever it was done. Lots of great records were done in that series. And then one fun thing for the engineer folk is we kept all the original mic pre's, but we added API mic pre's, and you can switch between the two while listening.
Cool.
So you can be recording a drum, snare drum, and just want to change it to an API pre, you do that, turn it up, you're done.
That's awesome.
We did that on 20 of the channels. And then we added a 10-channel Trident 80 sidecar. So you can do drums over there, or all the keyboards over there, or guitars, or whatever. So
that's great.
38 inputs, so that's a lot. Good bit of outboard gear. Focus mainly on compression, because between the console mic pre's, MCI API, and the Trident 80C, we just added a 4 channels of some Neve variations there, and then the rest is compression, because compression is the sound of rock.
I see the UTA. Is that new?
I've had it a few years, yeah. Yep. I was one of the first to buy it, yeah.
That's awesome. That's a nice piece to have.
Yeah.
That's cool because we can bring it downstairs and use it for cutting.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of features that are cutting friendly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a output level
Yeah, exactly. You know,
meter.
Link, it's got vertical lateral, or MS, sorry. MS is vertical lateral for cutting. And yeah, because we do a lot of directed disc, which will show you we can record directly to a vinyl master. So we'll pull certain pieces of gear out of here for that when we do them. And that's one of them.
And then of course, tape machines.
Yeah, we're known for tape, but we have a kick-ass Pro Tools rig. It's 32 IO links with a Mac Mini, all rack mounted. So you can record to tape or Pro Tools here at any time. The price is the same. You can use our tape. It's not uncommon for us to track the tape in the morning, do overdubs in Pro Tools in the afternoon.
That's awesome.
So it's how you want to record.
So 24 track.
Correct.
And then you guys restore and sell tape machines? Do I have that right?
Yeah, I own a company called Mar Machines, and we sell restored MCI tape machines just like that one. And we do all the major formats. And that's a rather large company. We sell about 60 machines a year, and they ship all over the world. So it's the largest tape machine restoration company in the world, much like saying you're the best bobsled team in Jamaica. No, we've got a lot of great clients, super famous ones too, brand new ones, which is great. I love that mixture.
That's amazing. So, yeah, the few sessions that we did here together was a blast, cutting and punching, you know, doing the whole chart thing.
Exactly.
So it was a blast.
So NS10s obviously with Crown amp, big DC 300, which is great. And then this room is large, as I mentioned, but I visually didn't want to have huge monitors. So I shopped and bought these Focal SM9s and had Steve Durr come over and tune them, and he added a very large subwoofer that is barely even on. So I said, I don't want a subwoofer that just sounds like it's just throwing low end around.
Yeah.
And the only reason we had to add that was just the size of the room. To get 110 dB in here, those speakers were working too hard, so that took some of the strain off of the Focals. And it sounds great. Every day I look to make sure the subwoofer's on, which is what you want. We'll mix records. We do directed disc, which is no remixing, and the records get released all the time. We'll both mix records in here, and the tweaks we get back are edits, not anything to do with frequency response. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it's a really good sounding room. A tribute to that is the size. It's so large that the common issues that control rooms have didn't even come into play here. We don't have any bass buildup. It's huge.
It's interesting because, you know, it's a large room, and as you said, the drop ceiling has so much space between it and the existing ceiling, but everything as far as like the stuff in the room is like such drastically different material. You're getting all the natural absorption and diffusion, but the walls are also all different materials.
Yeah, exactly.
Paneling, is that drywall at the front?
Yep, drywall, paneling, and acoustically those walls don't really exist from a low frequency standpoint.
What is all this tape? And I guess you have a record collection here. Is this all archived stuff?
No, it's tapes that we use for our clients, so we kind of rotate it around. That second shelf from the top is current projects, and we just let people use the tape here. We transfer to Pro Tools. They can go home and continue to work on it, or we mix in the box, or mix hybrid, and reuse the tape.
Clients are welcome to bring their own reel of tape as well. Line to their tape, and
sweet.
If they have tones printed, we can overdub onto their tapes if they already started a project.
Cool.
But you don't need to provide your own tape. Most tape sessions we do here use our $4.99 stock.
Tell me about this guy. I saw this at Summer NAMM. You brought
so this usually lives over there as our mixdown deck, but this is a Mara machine 1/4-inch 2-track that the studio owns. Today Jeremy's using it to do tape transfers. We do a lot of archiving of artists' libraries or odds and ends. It's a perfect mixture between the studio being known for tape and our skills at utilizing old tape and restoring old tape, and owning Mara Machines, which has restored machines. We're the perfect place to do tape archiving.
Just for anyone watching who might be looking for tape machines but not maybe doesn't know where to go or whatever, you guys have a website for that?
Yeah, it's maramachines.com.
maramachines.com, and you guys sell both 2-track and 24-track machines?
Yeah, 2-track, 4-track, 8-track, 16-track.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and they come with a warranty and lifetime support.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. What is all this stuff?
More
is this
keyboards.
all usable?
That is great for photo shoots and for
kind of like a graveyard.
When people bring their kids, I just set it on the floor and they can flip switches. But all these keyboards work. They get used in sessions all the time. So it's really fun for them to.
Oh, Lindrum, and it's hooked up.
Lindrum, Prophet 5, OB8, you know, Juno. So it's great for those last little sprinkles of overdubs. You know, I like to refer to as people collecting the sounds here. A lot of engineers will spend another half a day and kind of pull our plate and our tape delays and our echo chamber into their Pro Tools session.
Yeah.
I just call it kind of gathering. Why spend all the time writing a unique song and have a unique take on it and then just use the same presets and plugins all the time, right? A couple couches, and the slide is around the corner and goes down through that table. And then coming out of the control room, there's 2 ways to get in and out of the control room, which is really nice. And then this is the quick way downstairs. This is where the slide enters. So you, right here, right down.
Yes.
And you're ready to do another take.
Don't bring any recording equipment down the slide.
And we often will put, not that often, we'll put a guitar amp here and a microphone down there and use it as a chamber. It's kind of fun.
Gosh.
Well, let's go check out mastering and see what Maggie does.
Cool. All right, so this is the mastering.
Yeah, so we're set up here to do vinyl mastering, and we're one of the busiest in the country as far as vinyl mastering goes.
Holy cow.
That's a 1973 Neumann VMS 70, and we also do mastering for streaming and CD, obviously. And then as I mentioned upstairs, we are one of the few places in the world that can record directly to a vinyl master. So that means the band's recording live, getting mixed through the console outputs go right into this analog chain in Maggie's rack and right to the vinyl master. So.
This is so cool. If I can ask, what's some of the stuff in the desk here?
So this is a massive passive by Manley Labs. So they make a lot of really good like tube gear. It's a pretty standard mastering compressor. And this is a compressor I had custom made for me by Ian Sefcik at Magic Death Eye. So nice. It's a kind of like a Varimu compressor with a couple extra features.
That's awesome. You guys are using the Aurora, and is this the monitor control?
Yeah, it's the dangerous monitor controller,
cool.
yeah.
And then, the TC Electronics meter right there?
A lot of people have that. It's the best, I think it's the best meter that you can get kind of in that price range.
That's great.
And this is Mara Machines, which we talked about earlier. This company, we've been doing this about 15 years. We sell restored MCI tape machines, so these get tore completely apart. You'll see one here. This is part of our process. Tear it completely apart, rebuild it, resolder it, recap it, and then it ships ready to use with a warranty and lifetime support. And we sell about 60 of these a year, all different formats, all MCI. A big part of our company is education, you know, so the vast majority of our clients have never owned or used a tape machine before.
Right, yeah.
So we send a video, show them how to use it, and we just love it. We love it.
That's amazing.
So don't go on the forums.
Yeah.
Just email me.
Oh, dude, I was going to say, I know a lot of guys who are like, just give me a tape machine, and then they get there and they're like, all right, how do I hit record?
Yeah,
like,
it's super easy. Buddy. It's so easy. So so our business model is we only talk to our clients. So if you have a tape machine that isn't an MCI or isn't a Mara machine, we don't service or support it. And we do that not because we enjoy saying no to people, but so you're in our club. If you have a problem, you've got our resources. So it works out great. Over here is the second step of making a vinyl record. So when you saw our vinyl mastering suite, that's step number 1 of making a vinyl record. That's cutting the lacquer on that Neumann VMS 70. The second step, and this is very rare to see this is called electroplating. So these lacquers come here from downstairs and all over the country, and we process those into metal masters. So these are a negative of that lacquer. That lacquer has grooves on it. These all have ridges and are going to be sent to a pressing plant, put on a press, gets squeezed, and then these ridges will make grooves onto some hot PVC vinyl. So the business model here is quality, right? So when a lacquer gets cut, it immediately starts to want to go back to its natural state, which was to not have a groove on it at all. So the first thing you lose is high frequency content, which if you're into music is kind of where it's at. So lacquers come here, we process them the same day to capture that. Once it's metal, it can sit on the shelf for decades and not change. But that lacquer is soft and wants to go back to its natural state. We are involved with about 200,000 to 300,000 records a month out of this room.
So if somebody's trying to release vinyls, how are you guys involved in that?
So people come to us in two different directions. They come to us for vinyl mastering, and then we do the vinyl mastering, do this step, hook them up with a pressing plant, or more commonly, they'll find a pressing plant that we work with on a daily basis, and they'll reach out to the pressing plant, and the pressing plant in turn will hire us to do the vinyl mastering and this step called electroplating. So the only thing we don't do is press records. So we got about 6 people that work back here, 6 or 8. We work 7 a.m. to about 7 p.m. And again, it'll be huge projects that I can't talk about, and it'll be independent bands doing 300 records. I want everything.
Yeah.
You know, we're accessible to every artist we can be.
First off, thank you for having me out and, you know, doing the studio tour for everyone
You're
to
welcome.
see. Is there any particular website or social media or anything people can go to follow you guys or to reach out or book time?
It's welcome to 1979.com, or we're on Instagram and Facebook, just welcome to 1979. We have a few more months of 2021. We're offering a free day when you book a project. You can add a day to any booking.
Oh, wow.
We're really helping people get back on track. We know COVID really hurt the independent artists because it hurt us.
Yeah.
That's our way of kind of giving back. So reach out. We're super affordable. We're built for bands. You can come in 2 or 3 days and get a lot of stuff done. Track a record, do a bunch of overdubs, you know.
You're one of the engineers here, right?
Yeah, I'm staff engineer here. So if you reach out to welcome to 1979, the booking email, a good chance I'll be on the session with you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys so much. It was a lot of fun hanging out. So I'll put all the links to the website and all the social media down in the description.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it.
See you guys.